Time for another strength workout, only this time we're going to use a resistance band that is anchored to a point. I've got mine, I folded up my treadmill, and so I just lasso looped around the handle of the treadmill, but you could use a post or even a door frame. If you close the door strong enough, sometimes you have attachments that you can hook through that door frame to give it a little bit more strength. But whatever you hook it to, make sure that you're not going to pull out of the wall or tip something over. So it needs to be a pretty strong anchor. And since a lot of my swimmers don't have access to pools right now, that's what I've designated this workout to be, kind of in place to do a little dry land upper body and core emphasis. So again, an anchored resistance band, that's all you need. Let's get started. So I just want you to find an open space next to that band or somewhere near it and just begin to squat. So kind of warming up through the hips, but more importantly, how you carry yourself through the trunk and all the way through the shoulders. So as you're squatting, I really want you to reach forward and find a little bit more opening along the sides of your body into that base of the shoulder blade and around the sides of it. Then I want you to position your hands behind your head, giving me a little bit of that prisoner position. Only now with that flexion extension of the hips, knees, and ankles, you're bracing through the trunk a little bit more. As you lift your right knee, then your left knee. So when we think about how we move as humans, it's always in contrasting or contralateral positioning. So I want you to bring the opposite elbow to the knee lift. Little twist, little twist. And since we're talking about swimming or running or walking or anything that we're moving our arms and legs, we have that rotation in opposition, one side to the other. So on your twist, I want you to feel like you're growing in length through your spinal column. Let's do 4 more each. So noticing a little bit more heat. 3, 2, legs are good and warm, but let's get the shoulders going. So I want you to stand nice and wide with your feet and just start to rotate through your shoulder joint. Feel the shoulder blades elevating and depressing, bringing a little bit more heat around that upper body area while keeping everything strong in your trunk. And then I want you to continue the circles, but start to bring the arms a little bit higher through the elbows. I'm going to give myself a little bit more overhead space and a little longer through the arms. You're going to circle around. So nice and strong through your foot plant, just building a little bit more heat through the shoulder and again the upper back. Then I want you to take the arms about chest level and just start to swing them gently, kind of feeling a little bit of rounding and extending through that mid-spine. You don't need to clap your hands back. This isn't about a lot of excess mobility. Just getting the shoulders to warm and the rotator cuff to get ready to stabilize. So then I want you to grab that band, which is anchored. Hold one handle in each hand, and you're going to turn and face to the band as sideways. Bring your left hand to your hip, stand wide for a good base of support, and then bring your right elbow into your waist. You're just going to give me some external rotation. So kind of building a little bit more heat within that shoulder joint. So the rotator cuff does its job well, holding that arm bone in the socket, stabilizing it. Let's do 3, 2, then go ahead and keep that right arm there. Bring your left elbow to your waist, take another step away from that anchored band, and you're going to work internal rotation of the left arm. So again, whole purpose here is just to build a little heat and stability within the socket, core bracing. Let's do 4 more right here, and then we're going to do the same thing facing the opposite direction. Into, still part of our warm-up. Go ahead and turn the opposite way. Bring your left elbow into your waist. And I want you to rotate that left arm out. So we're not letting the shoulder blade move off of our rib cage and back, or letting protraction happen really, really freely. But I want you to find just the arm bone moving. Let's do 2 more. And again, bring your left arm into your waist. Take a step away. Anchor that right elbow to your waist and start working inward. So I'm not letting my right elbow move too far away from my body, especially on the movement in. Let's do 4 more just like this. We're only doing 1 set of this. Then I want to do 1 set of core bracing. You're going to walk back close to that anchor point, and you're going to take both arms overhead. Make sure you can sustain that position. And we're going to go into a shoulder flexion as high as possible without a big back arch. So I want you to hollow your belly, get your hips underneath you, and then just start to work against that band's resistance. Bring in a little bit more tension into your back body in these little pulses or oscillations to hyperextension. Let's do 8 more. Notice if you're lifting the front ribs, I want you to make sure you stay anchored in the front. That's it. Do the same thing facing away. Separate your hands. Walk away, since we already know we're a little stronger in flexion. Full extension of the elbow. And again, that's nice, strong core bracing. You're just going to oscillate a pulse. So this isn't really a big motion, more just getting kind of in tune with how your trunk needs to be stable as there's resistance into the limb. Let's do 8 more. 6, 4, 3, 2, and let it go. So now that we're warm, we're going to go into a combination of kind of a push-pull or 2 exercises, kind of balancing both sides of our body out with some rotational patterns mixed in. And since we're talking about swimming a lot, I thought we'd start with the lats and back. So go ahead and extend the arms forward. And I want you to alternate a lunge back, just reaching. Don't care which foot you start with. So the legs are kind of secondary in this whole workout. As you reach back into that lunge, I want your elbows to start brushing by your body, and you're going to give me a back row. So obviously with resistance or tubing, we have this variable weight or resistance to work with. The further you move away from your anchor point, the greater the load you're going to feel. But I want you to keep that nice erect spine with the core braced. You have 8. So it's not necessarily a squeeze or a pinching of the shoulder blades every time. There might be just a little exaggeration. Go back to just arms. Take another step away, increasing that resistance. So the elbow is still brushing right by your sides. Only now I want you to bring the elbows nice and high. So far, keeping everything pretty strong in the bilateral action. Similar to what we did in the warm-up, I want you to pull back, rotate the arms up, bring it front, do that again. So getting just a bit more into the external rotator cuff with that back body core bracing. 4 more. 3. Then you're going to turn around, bring that band behind you, and with again a little bit of a more narrow position, I'm going to bring my elbows in so the band is on the outside. You're going to alternate a forward lunge. So in essence, I want you to feel that core bracing like we did with the arms overhead in that little warm-up bit. Base of the ribs knitted in, and we're feeling a lot of external core compression. Go ahead and press forward. Do that again. Notice as you press forward that you don't go into a rounded spine or a protracted and excess shoulder blade position. 8, 7. Again, feel free to move further away from your anchor point to increase resistance. Stand tall, just your arms. So I'm going to start to move again, a little more forward, to really emphasize that lean into the torso front and not let myself get pulled backwards. Like we did with the back rows, elbows come higher. We're not going to do any rotations. Eight, 7. Everything we do is in 2 sets. We're still on our first set of this. That's it. Turn back around. Find those handles in each hand. Go back to your lunges. We're going to do things just slightly different, or differently, correct grammar. As you lunge back, pull back. So this should already feel a little bit better in a sense of being more efficient with how you're moving and stabilizing through the shoulder joints. Just your arms, row back. So when we think about swimming, there's a ton of rotation and opposing motion to arms and legs. So I want you to start to pull with one arm, then the other. As you pull back, I want you to allow the opposite arm to reach front. It's almost a bow and arrow. 4 more slow. You're allowing the hip to roll back slightly of the same side that's pulling. 2 more slow. Here's where I want you to anchor into your feet, feel strong in your lower core, speed it up. Pull, pull. 8 more times. 1, 2. So the back is feeling a little fiery. 3, 2. Take both arms again, row back. I'm going to take another step forward because of the rotations we're adding. Bring those elbows high, pull back, rotate. Do that again. On that rotation, I'm not letting my shoulders shrug up to emphasize the trapezius and those upper fibers. 2 more just like this. And let's flip it around. Do that same chest press over the outside of the arms. Elbows come close. Let's do that forward lunge. Just step out. Same strong core bracing. So we're not letting that band kind of dictate our lean, but we're finding that almost neutral spine vertically. Press. You have 4 more. Then we're going to just arms. Chest press only. I'm going to take another step forward. Like we did with those rows, we're about to go to single side. One arm slowly, then the other. Push. Push. Like that bow and arrow before, when we focused on that push forward, kind of counteracting the pull back. Now I want you to feel the shoulder pulling back in opposition to the arm punching forward. So there's a lot of thoracic rotation that we're emphasizing. There's a slight hip pull on the back arm, rotating back. Last 4, 3 slow, 2, double time this. Stay strong in your stance. Punch, pull, punch. 8, 7. You can really feel your glutes firing up to stabilize your stance. Last 3, 2. That's it. So we're going to leave that one behind. We're going to go into a little bit more of the lats and that pulling motion. So I want you to once again face in. Grab a hold of each handle with both hands, or with each hand. Then we're going to step back, but take our feet a little bit outside shoulder so we get a good base of support to lean forward. Arms come up in alignment with that anchor point, and you're just going to start to pull straight arm, straight back. In these 2 exercises, we're going to do a little bit of a ladder, not necessarily in repetition, but in motion. So right now we're bilateral, getting that elbow to be long, and a lot of emphasis in the downward motion of that scapular's rotation, which pulls into the lats and the insertion at the waist. 4, 3, 2. Now I want you to go to single arm. Kind of like those rows before, the hip of the arm that's pulling rotates slightly back, but definitely the T-spine rotates. Little variation. As you come forward, I want you to give me a high elbow with that twist. So we're still building up the ladder. We're going to revisit all of these exercises again. You have 4 more just arms, getting really warm through those lats and triceps. Whatever foot is opposite the arm, I want you to start to tap back. So we're creating a little bit more instability, obviously through the hip girdle, but more importantly, how you counteract or work in opposition, counter rotation of lower to upper body through your trunk. This is the top of our pyramid. Just the arms, working our way back down. Four more, then we're going to go back to that bilateral motion of straight arms. Here we go. 2 arms, push, push. Notice when you reach the bottom that you're not getting a lot of rounding through your spine. 2 more. 1 more. That's it. So quick on the ladder down. Separate your hands, come again behind you. Band on the outside of the arms. Like we did with that forward lean, I want you to find yourself with just a little bit of flexion in the hip. Then we're going to take our arms wide to the side, and we're going to fly back to the center with both hands facing, or palms facing. Working our way up the ladder from bilateral to single. Unlike we did with the lat pulls, I want you to narrow your stance. Hollow your belly and find the base of your ribs once again, knitting in. Let's go 2 more with both arms. Now just 1 arm at a time. Center, center. There's a slight release in that twist of opposition arm and torso. Eight, 7. Here's where a big challenge comes in. Whatever arm you're moving, I want you to bring the opposite knee up. Here's that emphasis of that core and how it connects to the pelvis, down the periphery of the legs, but more importantly, how the upper body is really working to keep from over twisting backward. 4 more. This is the top of our pyramid. Go back to just the single arm. 4, 3. Gonna feel this one tomorrow. Both arms, 8 reps. Hollow the belly, so you really feel that core brace. 4, 3. Turn it around. Let's repeat that. So lat pulls. Hinging, feet wide, both arms straight pull downs. Again, move further away to feel more of that resistance. But you're acting to depress and downwardly rotate those shoulder blades. Single arm, bent elbow comes forward. Allow that elbow to rise and the same side hip to roll back. 4 more alternating. 2, keep alternating the arms. The opposite foot is going to tap back. Four, 3, 2. Back to just your single arm. Notice how you can get a little bit more of the core or torso into that pull. Last round, 8 reps, both arms straight. One more. Turn it around. Outside the arm, take those feet narrow, fly both arms. Always a lot easier to work in that forward position. 4 more bilateral. Single arm. Try to keep the tempo slow so you're not really working momentum right now, but a strong core to arm connection. Opposite knee to arm fly. You have 4 more each. Last 2. Working our way back down the ladder. Legs stay still, just the arms. 4, 3, 2 arms, 8 reps. Glad I didn't use the heavier band. 3 more. 2. And release. So we're going to leave that series behind. Work onto a little bit more of a rotational pattern and more of a frontal plane connection. So we're going to hold one handle in each hand. I want you to keep that left hand in place. You're going to face forward or face that anchor point. You're going to step out with that right foot and open up that right arm to a T. So a rear fly, come back in. Let's do that nice and strong tempo. Open, close. So your left foot is a pivot point you're driving off of to open the chest. Let's do 8 more. Three more. We're going to grab both handles with both hands, 2 hands, chop across. So feel how much more strength recruits from that left hip to drive and pivot. Now I want you to keep the right foot stationary. Start to pivot off that left heel. Keep the motion really from the hips and the trunk versus the arms pulling. So it's as if you have a dowel between your chest and the center grip. Instead of staying on the horizon, we're going to do 8 more, but angle it low to high. Music's telling me it's time for margarita again. 4 more, maybe after this. 3, 2, go ahead and turn the opposite way. So right hand, stay stationary. Face your anchor point, open up, step out wide. Using that right foot and the right hip to pivot from. Last 4, 3, 2, get ready. Grab both grips, both hands, twist. Again, we're working from that pivot point of the right hip, and it's as if there's a dowel between the center grip and your sternum. You have 4 more, then we're going to stay with that left foot wide. Add your pivot of the right foot. Using that right hip to drive you across. You have 8 more, then we're going to change our angle slightly. Take it a little low to high. Same idea with the angle or that dowel. Last rep, 4, 3, face in. Let's repeat that. With your right arm working. Step wide, rear fly. We're going to do a few less. So it should feel a little bit more efficient in that pivoting. 2 more. 2 hands, 2 grips, pivot. Right away into that left foot pivot. Give me low to high. 8. Drive from that left hip. 5, 3, 2, switch sides. So right away into that left arm fly, pivoting off the right hip. Four, 3, 2, 2 arms, pivoting, pivoting, off that right heel. Four more, we go low to high. 3, here it is, take it low, 7. Even on the movement back towards that band anchor, you're still strong. Not letting gravity and the band work you. Let it go. Woo. So 3 series down. We have 2 more. Getting into a little bit more small muscle group action. Still about core bracing. We're going to talk about that. Bring the arms up to chest level. So maybe a little bit of a squat. Turn your palms to face up. You're just going to give me a little bicep curl here. So as you're curling, the tendency might be to use your body weight to assist that elbow flexion. I want you to stay with that slight forward lean, almost like when we were doing that extension in the beginning. Take your right foot, tap back. Every time you pull back now, I want you to give me a hamstring curl with that right foot. You have 8 more. So again, not about the lower half, but really emphasizing that right hip staying square or nearly square to the front anchor. 1 more. That's it. Turn it around. Let's repeat that push-pull sequence. Take the band overhead. With that slight forward flexion, not letting the band pull you back, I want you to take the elbows and extend forward. Reach. Tendency might be to lean forward. Just hollow your belly to find that brace. Narrow your stance. As you extend the elbow, we're going to add that right knee. Lift it up. You have 8 more. 4, 3, same idea with that cross-body tension. Gently release. Biceps. Again, a little bit of a lean forward. A lean back. Palms up. Elbows flex. So a lot of shoulders just working to keep the arms up since gravity is constant and pushing down on that humerus. Be careful that you're not rounding your chest. There's still a lot of back body, especially around the shoulder girdle in that mid-back. 4 more. We're going to continue the arms. Tap that left foot back. As you curl, hamstring pulls. Can you keep that left hip from rolling way back or coming off your right heel? Last round of 4. 3, 2, turn it around. Triceps. Again, a hollow belly, elbows extend. So we've done a lot of core bracing and a single limb stance. The last series is going to be about minimizing rotation. So we can start thinking about that. In 4 more, we're going to add those left knee lifts. Minimize the roll back of the left hip. Here we go. Eight, 7, 4, 'That's it. So most of you probably have done this exercise. It's a great one with a cable, but a resistance band works really well too. So you're gonna hold both handles with both hands. I want you to turn your left side to face the anchor, and we're gonna start in a really stable wide base. Bring the handles to your sternum, and I want you to pretend that there's that imaginary line or that dowel again. So you're gonna press forward, and the urge with that band is gonna be to pull you back to the left. I want you to see about keeping your shoulders and your hips square. So there's a lot of this tension that you're pulling on the left torso to try to maintain that squaring. Glutes are firing strong. 8. We're gonna change positions of the feet to change the direction of pull, not direction of pull, but the amount of tension that's across the body. 4, 3, 2, I want you to take your right foot forward, your left foot back, and stagger your stance. But keep your weight even, so you're not sitting back, nor are you coming off that left heel. We're about to take away the right arm. Maintain that dowel line or straight out from the sternum. Just your left arm works. Push front, push front. So the urge again is going to be to rotate back to your left. I want you to keep yourself from pulling back. 2 hands once again, double time your press. 8, 7, 6, really strong blades on your back. 3, 2, face the opposite way. Wide stance, pressing front. Push, pull, push, pull. Reach, reach. So again, the urge is going to be to rotate back to your right. Stay nice and strong with that center line. 4 more like this. We're going to change our stance. Just changing a little bit of the pelvic girdle's work. Your left leg is now forward, your right foot back, and even weight load between the feet. 4, 3, 2, right hand only holds. Straight in front of that sternum, straight in front. Shoulder blade stays on your back. 4 more. 3, 2, double time this, 2 hands, punch, push, push, push. Really, really strong with that right oblique, pulling around to the left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, turn back again. Wide stance, but a little bit more narrow this time, but centered. Both arms, tempo, push, pull. I want you to see about the transition differently this time and maintaining that squaring. Double time your press. Keep that line straight in front of the sternum. Move your feet to staggered. Right foot forward. See, my transition wasn't great. Double time, left arm only. You have 8 more. 6. Don't know if you can hear my dogs running around upstairs. Gently release. Turn and face the opposite direction. Narrow your stance. Push, pull, push, pull. Keep yourself from turning back towards the right with that strong right oblique. Double time. Push, push, push. A lot of strength between your blades. We're almost there. Watch your transition. That left leg stays forward. Right leg comes back. Push, push. Mine was a little better this time. That was your transition. We're going to finish up with just the right arm working. Right arm drives. 8, 7, 5, 3, 2, that's it. Whew. Let that go. Even though you're probably going to hear some running back and forth with the dogs, we're going to cool down a little bit. I want you to take your feet nice and wide. We're going to do a side bend, and because there's so much emphasis that we did around the shoulder and especially coming underneath, I want you to grab a hold of your right wrist with your left hand, lift up and feel like you're pulling yourself upward without arching your back. So again, that base of the rib cage kind of knitting towards the pelvis, and you're going to arc yourself off to the left side. Let your right shoulder blade start to push to the right so you feel that lateral border of your scap where you have your lats, your teres, everything really assisting in the downward rotation ability of your shoulder, which in swimming is the pull through. So I want you to stay in this position, but change that right hand to touch the right shoulder blade, hold the left hand on the right elbow, and arc over a little bit more. So now we're getting a compound lat with a little bit more tricep emphasis, since the long head of your triceps attach into that lateral shoulder as well, shoulder blade. And then bring yourself all the way up. Grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Gently pull up, find elevation from your waist out through your fingers, and then side bend to the right. Laterally shift your left shoulder blade out to the left. Feel that nice long pull into your waist. Same idea with the knitting of the ribs, hollowing of the belly, and then gently change that lengthened elbow to a bent elbow. Left hand touches the left shoulder blade, right hand holds the elbow. Pull back, but also over to the right. Same idea with that left shoulder blade pushing out. A little bit more connection into the triceps or the limb, still from the shoulder blade and always from the torso. And then since we did a lot of sagittal plane pushing and pulling, I want you to go ahead and take your hands behind your back. Find an interlacing of your fingers, maybe closing the heel of the palms together, finding that same front body core bracing, but now a shoulder extension. So the elbows go long. If it feels good, you can elevate the arms a little bit. If it feels even better, you can start to lift the chest and sternum, but without dumping into the low back, so there's still that core bracing. Maybe even a little chin lift coming into the scalenes and a little bit of the front of the neck, all the way from the pecs. And then reverse that position, interlace your hands in front, push forward, protract your shoulders, round or widen your back, tuck your chest, tuck your chin, hollow your belly, and actually round through that lumbar spine. Nice big C curve. And then as you extend the arms overhead, take a nice full deep breath in, and exhale it all the way out. That was fun, you guys. See you next time.